Okay, good evening, everyone. Today I will be discussing the severe weather that will be happening the next 3 days. So, for the remainder of today into tonight, especially down into Alabama, where there's that ongoing MCS activity, QLCS. So, expect a continuing damaging wind threat there, mainly to 65 miles per hour, and continuous cloud to ground lightning. Then the severe weather up here in the northeast and into the Carolinas to Virginia are winding down, and same goes for these two areas. So for tomorrow, now we do have a marginal severe threat extending from southwestern Pennsylvania into far western Massachusetts. Then another area from northwestern Minnesota down to northeastern South Dakota again into eastern and northern North Dakota. Now, the most likely zone of severe weather, or then, oh, there went my IM monitor. Anyways, the biggest area of severe threat, other than here, is going to extend from northern Kansas and especially up into southern Wisconsin. Now, however, there are uncertainties with a fairly strong capping inversion that will be going on here. So, no tornado threat. The the environment is not suitable for the development of tornadoes, but it is suitable for localized pockets of marginally severe damaging winds and then marginally severe hail, so to core size, except for here, where it's just going to be a wind risk. Now, the most concerning day of all them, though, will be this upcoming Saturday, as we do have a for now a enhanced risk from northeastern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, and into central Wisconsin, near the Marathon County area, into the Marathon County area. Now, there are uncertainties of not only timing, but also the overall severity of the outbreak and placements. But for now, that's where they do have the enhanced risk. Although a upgrade to moderate is certainly possible in future outlooks, and also a eastward expansion of this enhanced and slight risk. Now, there is a threat of significant to very significant damaging winds, mainly in the 60 to 80 mile per hour range, although, as the HER has shown the last several runs, a couple of these possibly reaching the 95 to 100 mile per hour category. Now, again, that's uncertain, but if that were to happen, that would be mainly the form of downbursts, fanning downbursts. So basically, a fanning downburst is when you have the downburst hit the surface. Now, once it hits the surface, though, unlike with, say, straight line winds or microbursts, the damage it causes is in a relatively small area, but where it does occur. So if you have a patch of thick forest, then it'll literally look just like a fanning brush, where the trees are all down facing like a fanning brush. I'll provide a image. So um again, that's a possibility. Now, there is also a threat of very large hail, possibly to 2 inches in diameter, especially in the supercell stages in northern Iowa to south central and central Minnesota, possibly west central Wisconsin, where you do see steep mid and lower lapse rates. Mid and lower lapse rates. So, another thing is that there could also be several tornadoes both during the supercell stage and during the QLCS or MCS stage. Now, however, though, despite high helicity and EHI values, let's see here, However, what's not going to be there is the fact that the wind shear is going to be going orthogonally to the cold front. So, in other words, that means that the setup will be mostly favorable for damaging straight line winds and downburst winds. So, let's continue on with what the models show us. So, First thing I want to stress is that things will change. They will change. They will not remain the same. So, first off, for tomorrow. So, first region over here. Now, as you can see, I'm going to thunderstorm activity there. So, early on in the morning, could see scattered, non-severe thunderstorms over there in Minnesota, but that's not going to influence anything really much. But then so again, concerning that capping issue, the convective inhibition, the storms may not start up until later on tonight, right towards 3 to 4 a.m. As a matter of fact, to 7 a.m. The Chicago area to South Bend and Kalamazoo there. And then moving on. Now, however, though, what the her model does show is that at the same time, these been later forming into MCS according to this later on supercells right there. But I will just address those later. Now for the northeast. Oh, oops, go back. So here we have noon. As you can see, western New York already showing some scattered activity developing, so that by 4 p.m., it's more numerous in nature towards far northern Pennsylvania and into especially southern New York, according to this model. Now, Nam is more south of this, but for the most part. But anyways, what you're gonna notice though is that it's not gonna be widespread severe weather. It's gonna be more spotty in coverage. So what that means is that you have storms here and there, but they're not gonna be everywhere. And again, these will be locally capable. They will be capable of producing locally higher wind gusts and hail. But by 7 p.m., the activity starts fizzling out, so that by 11 p.m., they're just dead completely. And then up here, not really showing much for tomorrow, but what that risk is gonna come from will be this. Possibly some lower end supercells developing, especially this patch here. That again could develop into that MCS according to her. Now, however, though, there are timing issues. So now I'm going to move on to Saturday. So here we go. This will be the longest portion of the video. So showing already by 10 a.m., starting to cluster up could gale into a bow echo in central Minnesota, entering the St. Cloud area a bit, and especially to its south. Now, this is where you'll see transition from damaging winds and large hail to especially damaging wind threat, except for any embedded supercells in the line, such as here, showing very large hail. As a matter of fact, if you never know, these black patches you see here, these black lines that you see here, those are hail swaps. That's what it predicts, where it predicts hail swaps will occur within the past hour. So it's showing that this supercell will have literally just developed. So 11 a.m. entering the Minneapolis area, then 12 p.m., 1 p.m. And that's the farthest it will go, at least for AT&C. So what we've got on hand, at least according to her. Now again, this is way too early. This is an outlier showing that by 1 p.m. it's already turning to MCS, while the others seem to agree that by 1 p.m. it will be over here. So at least according to this, very strong instability. Not the strongest ever, but it's more than strong enough. Almost 4,000 in places. In the shear, we're looking at what the? Okay, so overall, mainly 40 to 55 knots of shear, more than enough for storm organization. Now, with higher shear, that's gonna promote more storm organization. So, With lower shear, you'll see pulse type severe storms. With more shear, you're going to see more longevity, more organization. So more intense storms, longer lasting storms, and faster storms too. That's another thing. These will be pretty fast moving. Now, supercell composite, especially towards eastern Nebraska into southern Minnesota, fairly decent supercell composite values, but it really cuts into that tornado potential. It doesn't really show much of anything concerning tornadoes. Now, again, this is where you would see lots of hail or very, very heavy rainfall. There's going to be a lot of lightning. Because it's a squall line, you're going to see numerous lightning strikes. That's another thing. The environment is going to be suitable for thousands and thousands of cloud to ground lightning strikes per hour. Then, you could see some ceilings to 50,000 feet according to this. So, in terms of helicity, very strong value. So, that's the thing. There's a lot of helicity and a lot of EHI. Just only problem is that there's a general lack of actual shear that's blowing to the right direction. So we can certainly see several tornadoes. It's just that you're not going to see strong, powerful, long track tornadoes. So, which is good. Don't need any of that, especially right now. Now the RAP though. Now, here we go again with uncertainties. Because see, by 1 p.m. it shows that instead of being over here up to 3 hours earlier, it's gonna be over here, and they'll be more loosely organized at this point of time. Now, very, very strong instability. Now, the models do seem to agree on stronger instability, as the storms over here will occur more over here. So, instability shouldn't be too much of an issue in regards to any potential cloud cover or whatever. The most unstable cape. Now, most unstable cape continues, it lasts longer in the overnight hours. That's what tends to maintain the MCSs overnight. Yeah, sure, some surface-based instability will hang out, but with a general loss of diurnal heating, you're gonna see more of a transition to most unstable cape being the carrier of these storms. So high supercell composite values. Significant tornado parameter, very decent with this one. I mean, 3.8, I mean, that's not too significant, but it's there. I mean, couple tornadoes. Now, mid-level lapse rates. Oh boy. Almost 9 Celsius per kilometer. That is... So what that means is that you're going to see stronger updrafts, which means that any storms that do encounter the lapse rates, especially over here, will see an environment very, very suitable for large hail. Same goes for low lapse level rates, although it would mainly support this area in this case. Although, again, with a general loss of thermal heating, you see this go away. Because low lapse level rates, they mainly rely on strong surface heating. And then there's like no convective inhibition. There's no cap. It's virtually non-existent. Another thing I want to discuss is that moisture will be very, very plentiful. It's going to be everywhere. And as a matter of fact, dew points, they're going to be very high. You're going to see very high dew point values, almost to 80 degrees in spots. And as a matter of fact, GFS, where's the P-Watts? I think it would be the NAMs that would have it. Oh, well, I guess they don't have it anymore. What? Well, anyways, As you can see, the relative humidity is going to be high throughout the day too, and it's going to get into the upper 80s into the lower 90s all day, so it's going to be unbearable with higher humidity plus high heat. So now the dam shows very, very extreme instability. It's like in the beginner extreme category. Very strong to lower and extreme instability, up to 5,600 some in places. That surface space, and then, oh my gosh, this thing might be too overloaded with the supercell composite. Probably is giving it too much credit right here. Same thing with I mean, these levels you don't see unless you have an outbreak of stronger tornadoes, like 2 to 4 strong tornadoes. But so that's an outlier in this part. It does way over exaggerate the supercell and tornado potential. Now it is about right though, with lapse rates and moisture content in the atmosphere. Same thing with helicity. It's generally on board with what the other models show. And that's another thing. The models have been shifting it farther to the north. The storms overall. So we might see that enhanced risk move a bit more to the north too. But again, any upgrades in buyer, I mean, I don't know if they would quite do it during the first day to outlook. Maybe the second at the earliest. Maybe. We'll have to see. But with this one, 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m., it develops two different clusters. Two different bow echoes, possible smaller MCSs. In which, again, the other models do seem to really support. This pattern, it reminds me kind of a lot like the June 11th, 2017 derecho that happened. Now, there will be no derecho Saturday, at least currently, but significant MCS is possible. But anyways, that's kind of a close match with what I could think of. June 11th, 2017. So you had supercells develop earlier in the morning that could get over to MCS and then move through. Now, again, somewhat different circumstances and somewhat different in developments, but that's the closest I could think of. You can search that up and you'll see what I mean. So, nope. And then heading off into lower Michigan by 3 a.m. 4 a.m. And then by 7 a.m., it's off in Canada time. Namnest, but the usual. So, this one is more delayed. 1 p.m., it's slightly more delayed. 4 p.m., then it develops a second wave. This one's way later, but really develops an MCS stretching from possibly the Arrowhead, Minnesota down into Iowa. Now, wind gusts now, these aren't exact. It always underestimates them, but it gives us a general idea. So generally, you could see damaging wind gusts in the strongest embedded cells within the MCS, according to this model. RDPS. Okay, so by 1 p.m. it has activity, again, fairly consistent with most of the other miles. 4 p.m., 7 p.m. Then it develops by 10 to 11 p.m. A really strong cluster here that then stretches from Iron Mountain and Michigan all the way down to Milwaukee. Then boom, you can see that thing bowing out according to this form almost a coma head. Now, what a coma head is, it's a region of a strong squall line where you can see the wind that generally come in from the um typical direction the wind would come in, but the circulating back around it like a MCV. That's where you could get rear inflow jet into the storm at the stronger squalls. But here, though, a Foucauldian signature of this is that it can also produce weaker tornadoes. As a matter of fact, the June 15th outbreak, that's how the EF2 in Sulphur Cliff occurred, and then the three other EF1s occurred over here were because of the coma head. So then moving off so that by 4 a.m., it's there, still going strong. At the 7 a.m., it begins to fizzle out. Oh my gosh. A lot to cover. GDPS. So again, consistent with the others. Same thing with placement. This one's really consistent. So that's another thing. Earlier today, they had the worst occurring over here, but now they're shifting it so that mainly from west central Minnesota straight through central Wisconsin and into northern lower Michigan would get the worst. But again, anything can easily change, where we see even more of a northerly shift, stay the same, or shift back to the south. European. No 18C yet? Wow, you're right, late. Okay, 1 p.m. Okay. Whoa, calm down, European. Ho ho ho. This one would show mainly from central upper Michigan, then down into northern Iowa. Oh boy. Wow. Yeah, let's just hope that doesn't become true. Now, this would show isolated intense pockets, and again, lots and lots of rain. As a matter of fact, there'll be near record P watts in the atmosphere, which means that you're going to see very, very heavy rain. So, if we do see the case of some models where some models show storms developing after the main line moves out of the area, so if that does happen, then we could see some flooding concerns being possible as well. GFS. What do you got for us? Oh wait, I should turn on. Okay. 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. Oh boy, messy. Okay. Okay. Oh wait, 12Z. I was wondering why that looked unusual. I was like, what? Why? When did that change? But no. So, 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. Now, the models tend to agree that between 5 and 10 p.m. is when the MCS should reach peak intensity. What does this show? Okay, that's another thing about the GFS. I don't really rely too much on it when it comes to Cape. It's always weird with it. Like this one, it shifts it way down to the south. It's too extreme between the differences between where the warm and cold front is. It's too extreme. So then again, this one's also showing it form a bit of a coma head. Different place, but similar. So we could definitely see an intense line. So now to show you where I think so I'm gonna quick create a map. So let's see. So for what I think, it basically, so storms would most likely occur into this area. Now here is where you could see some severe weather. So generally, if you're within this area, you could see some severe weather occur. And then for the second worst, now again, this is just according to current trends. Me bringing a blend of the model data. So this map is going to change. It will change. It's guaranteed it will change. But this is what I've got for now. Then this, and then for the absolute worst, extending mainly right here. I would say right around here would be where the worst would occur. But again, could see some of the activity occur over here. And then obviously again placements will change. So that's gonna conclude my forecast for tonight. Speaking of which, please do check out Weather on the Go. I'm gonna provide a link to his channel in the description below. He is very informative. I really like his method of streaming, but also the way he's very detailed with his forecast. How he, a lot like me, really goes into detail. Why the stuff is happening, why it's happening, and it's he's just really informative. It's really awesome. You almost feel like you're at weather school. So, yeah, that concludes the video. So, goodbye.